What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John, back again from sunny Palmanova, back together. You can see that we've left the background in Palmanova, so we'll make sure we get them back for the next video. This is your debrief, and this is your intro. Fly me to the moon, let me gaze upon those stars, let me see what spring is like on Goodson Park. In other words, I am blue. In other words,
if I had a gun, I'd
let there be love. There you go, everyone.
Come on, let's go.
Jesus. We didn't get John singing karaoke. We did try, but the bar was absolutely rammed. So we do promise in the future, John will come on here singing a song for us. But John, not singing was the result yesterday. What was your thoughts on that?
Do you know what? It was a bit of a funny game. There wasn't much in it up until the stupid. Well, I'm going to call it a stupid pass by Pickford. If he plays that pass to someone who can trap a ball and control it and hold it up, it probably doesn't happen. But he plays a ball like that to a centre forward who, in my opinion, can't trap fucking win, mate, to be fair. So why play it? And it comes inadvertently from Pickford doing that kick out to Beto, who can't hold the ball up, and it gets robbed off him, and it basically goes from the centre circle, one pass, turn, bang, in. Everton do come into it, and their keeper's had a stinker of a season by all accounts, but he pulled off two really good saves yesterday to give Chelsea all 3 points. Again, I do question the substitutions. The first one, again, he takes Ndiaye off. I think he leaves Beto on the pitch too long. But when he does make the 3 substitutions quite close together, he might have even made them all together. Everton did come into the game, and then that's when we made their keeper pull off the 2 saves. Everton could have easily got something out of that game yesterday, and we lost it with, I call it a mistake by Pickford for playing a ball like that to a centre forward like Beto.
Yeah, I was actually annoyed yesterday, and I know people will say, "Why is you annoyed, Mike? We're safe and all of those positive things," but it does get frustrating when we don't get the results that we deserve from games. I felt like we justified a point yesterday. In the end, it was a tough battle, but I did feel that we justified a point. The goal that we conceded is pathetic because Pickford chooses to play the ball into Beto's feet. Beto's come short to receive it. The midfield have gone. I don't know where the midfield had gone. The 2 centre-halves are split. So as soon as Beto lost that ball, they literally had the will to run into, and they had all of that space. The centre-halves didn't come close enough, tight enough. Nicholas Jackson, look, it's a great finish. It was a good finish, but I also think that because of where Pickford has kicked the ball from, it actually stops him getting over and saving the goal, because I think he could actually save it if he was one step further along. So in the end, I was disappointed by the goal, but I want to talk about a couple of the other things before we start talking about the positives. The left and right back yesterday, both of them got tore a new one. Patterson, you've called it since day one. I've said, look, we need to give him a chance, and I still think we've got to give him a chance. I still think he's got the next 4 games to prove it. But for me, Nathan Patterson is not a Premier League right back as long as I've got a hole in my arse. He's got 4 games to prove me wrong, but at the minute, I'm highly doubting that that's going to happen. He got absolutely decimated yesterday by Madueke, who, by the way, is strong, physical, quick, all the attributes that we want in a winger. But he was poor. He was poor yesterday. He got done time and time again. And I thought Mykolenko, if I'm being honest, I thought that was probably one of his worst games in a long, long time yesterday, because Neto tore him a new one as well. The amount of balls that come into the box, I thought it's a good job the 2 centre-halves proved that they're brilliant, because the fullbacks didn't yesterday. Did nothing to encourage me.
There's pressing areas, mate, before the fullbacks. Don't get me wrong, I've been a big advocate for the striker on this channel, and it's obvious we need a better striker than what we've got at the club. Right back is the next position that should be filled. And I know we keep going on about ball carrying midfielders, and I know we keep going on about wingers with pace and wingers who can score goals. But for me, we need a right back after a striker, mate, because Patterson, you're saying he's got another 4 games to prove himself. Listen, we haven't seen a lot of Nathan Patterson in the last 2 years, but what I have seen, there's no way on God's given earth is he going to play these next 4 games, if he does, and prove me wrong that he's not Premier League standard. He's just not Premier League standard. And then you've got Seamus Coleman, who's probably not going to get another playing contract. And do you know, if Everton, I can't believe I'm going to say this, this is how much I don't rate Nathan Patterson. If Everton haven't got the money to fill that right back slot, I'd give Ashley Young another 12-month contract and play him right back before Nathan Patterson, mate. He's not Premier League standard. He's not good enough. He's not going to push us to the next level. And maybe Ashley Young won't push us to the next level. But I honestly think, even though there's a massive age gap, Ashley Young is a better Premier League right back than Nathan Patterson will ever be. And then you mentioned the goal, the gap. You could have got the fucking Titanic through it, mate. Where was the midfielders? Where's the midfield? As soon as we lose that ball, then midfielders should be dropping back in to try and track that ball before it gets to anywhere near Nicholas Jackson. So there was a massive hole there. Decore again. Poor. What does Moyes see in Decore to warrant play him every week? What's he seeing in other players to keep taking and die off? And, you know, we're talking about a ball carrying midfielder now. The only person who looked like an Everton ball carrying midfielder yesterday was the substitute, Alcaraz. He come on. I thought Alcaraz done well for the time he had on the pitch yesterday, and he was the only one yesterday, apart from when Ndiaye was on the pitch, who actually picked the ball up and ran at the Chelsea defence. You're talking about Nathan Patterson's got 4 games to prove himself. Alcaraz now has to start these next 4 games, and I'd put money on it. He does start on Saturday. He kept Beto on for too long. I've mentioned that. You know, we haven't seen enough of Chimiti. He's got 4 games to prove himself. 13 players out of contract, mate. We've got to start giving these players now these next 4 games to prove that they either earn a contract or they get a 12-month extension. Because from what I seen yesterday, mate, the majority of that squad, apart from the 2 centre-backs yesterday, and Ndiaye, I wouldn't be asked if we didn't see any of them again, to be fair, because you know, in years gone by, we haven't had the luxury of saying Everton are playing with their flip-flops on because we've been in a relegation battle. You look at yesterday's game, there were certain players there yesterday who know they're not getting the contract renewed, who know they're not going to be at Bramley-Moore next season, and they have got their flip-flops on, because there were certain players yesterday just didn't warrant anything else apart from getting shown the door at the end of the season, namely Beto, Decore, and Nathan Patterson, mate.
Yeah, I thought I was so disappointed by some of the performances, and the other thing that wound me up was that substitution at half time. You know, Alcaraz for Ndiaye. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I have no issue with Alcaraz coming onto the pitch at half time. You know, I don't have an issue with that. I get why he's not starting games, you know, the clauses and all of that. But for me, we look so much better with Alcaraz on the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had took the other person off that would have helped him help us.
Play the 2 of them together. How often have we seen Ndiaye and Alcaraz playing in the same 11 at any point since they've both been at the club? There's not many, but he insists. I don't know what he sees in Decore. And, you know, sorry for butting in, but we mentioned how well he done with his substitutions. But last week and this week, especially his first substitution yesterday, left a lot to be desired for me. David Moyes must know now who he's going to retain, who deserves to stay at the club, who he's not going to sell. He should know by now. So he should be giving these other players a run to see if they can earn themselves a deal, because we know what you get from Decore, you know what you get from Beto, you know what you get from Nathan Patterson. They're not good enough.
There is a couple of positives I'm going to mention. I didn't think Chelsea outclassed us yesterday. They were better. They were better. But what I noticed about Chelsea is, look, they've got lots of expensive players. You know, the two midfielders. I sent you a voice note yesterday. You know, their midfield three was over £300 million yesterday with somebody like Enzo Fernandez, Lavia and Concedo, and you could tell like they were just better than our midfield in every department. Cole Palmer was just coming short and picking up the ball and just spraying it. The two wingers were better than what we've got. They just had better players all over the pitch. But yeah, Everton had chances. Beto on the turn, 45 minutes, gets a shot off. Robert Sanchez makes a good save. Second half, ball down the left-hand side, crosses into the box. McNeil should score, in my opinion, but it's a great save by Sanchez. But all in all, it's another game where we've gone to a team that is perceived to be better than Everton, and we've given them a game. We've had the chances, we've had opportunities, and it's frustrating because you look at the league table, and in my opinion, Everton should be higher in the league. They should absolutely be higher up in the league. And actually, what's even more frustrating is Vitor Pereira has since come into Wolves, and he's actually done a better job than Moyes statistically.
The thing is, as you say, you know, you look at the value of Chelsea's squad compared to the Everton squad. They weren't that much better than us. But the difference is, Michael, is they've got quality in certain areas, and that's where they are better. That's where they're capable of getting 3 points from a game against Everton. You know, the midfield, 300 million quid or whatever it was, the striker and Nicholas Jackson. We can only hope we get players like that, and hopefully we're in that situation in seasons to come. But I think what got Chelsea over the line yesterday was just that bit of quality, what Everton don't have. In hindsight, you look at the game, apart from, you know, us conceding the goal, how many other saves did Jordan Pickford really make? You know, and I don't know whether that was down to the two centre-halves, and I do want to talk about them because what we seen yesterday is obviously Jake O'Brien goes to centre-half with Jarrett Brandwaite, and it looked a really, really good partnership. Special mention for Jarrett Brandwaite yesterday. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. But he was one of a few bright spots when you look at everywhere. And again, you know, I've been a big advocate for Iliman and Dion here. Don't think he's been that good since he's come back from injury. And I just think now, I said to Frankie yesterday, I just want the season to end now. We know we're safe. We know who's won the league. We know who's down. I know obviously teams are chasing Champions League, but we've got 2 winnable games left now where we should win, Ipswich and Southampton. The other games are going to be tough. I just want the season to end, and let's just see what the summer brings, because we keep saying on here it's a massive summer.
Yeah, spot on. The other thing just to mention, and you sort of alluded to it earlier because you were talking about a right back being a priority. Now, you already know I completely disagree with you on that point, because I don't think a right back's a priority, just because I feel I wouldn't want to lose one of the centre halves. Jake O'Brien on the right-hand side would be my choice next season, and then bringing in the centre half. But I don't have any...
But that's by the by, isn't it? Because if Jake O'Brien does go centre half, we need a right back. If Jake O'Brien plays a fullback, at right fullback, we need a centre half, because Mason Holgate and Michael Keane are going. Let's just bring a right back in who's better than Nathan Patterson, who's going to be better than Ashley Young. You know, I'm not going to say it's pointless talking about Seamus Coleman, because Seamus Coleman will always get the credit he deserves off me, but I don't think it'll be a playing contract. We've got an option where we can bring the right back who's playing there now into centre half. So I will go and get a right back. We need a centre half anyway, we need cover. But I'll just go and get a right back who can play there for a couple of years, because Nathan Patterson's not that man.
Who do you bench then? Because if you don't have Jake O'Brien as the right back, who do you bench out the three of them?
Well, you play Jake O'Brien with Jarrett Brandwaite, and you know, Tarkowski's going to be another year older. He's had an operation on a hamstring. We don't know what he's going to come back like. Is Tarkowski going to be able to play as many games next season as what he has this season? Probably not. Going to be a year older halfway through the season. So for me, I think we need a centre half or we need a right back.
Yeah.
And if Tarkowski is happy to be cover, because we've seen enough from Jake O'Brien and Jared Brandwaite yesterday to say, yeah, that's Everton's future centre half partnership, depending on how long we keep Jared Brandwaite.
Well, the thing is, if they play together next season, both of their values increase. You know, Brandwaite is 80 million quid anyway, but Jake O'Brien won't be at that level yet. But I'm telling you now, there's enough of a player in there to be a big money centre half. So if you've got two of them, all of a sudden, Everton defensively look a really tall order to beat those two centre halves. And you're right, bringing in a quality right back would be brilliant. If I'm being honest, it would be absolutely great. I just don't know how much money we've got to spend, and we've got so many positions to bloody pay and buy. I just don't want it to be a loan. If it's a right back, I think we need to sign a right back, if you get what I mean. And I just don't know if he'll do that in the summer. I just don't know.
Well, if he's not going to do that, mate, then obviously Jake O'Brien stays there and Tarkowski gets more minutes. But then you've got to either bring a right back in or you've got to bring a centre half in, because if Tarkowski and Brandwaite play centre half and one of them get injured, then you've got to move Jake O'Brien to centre half and you're left with Nathan Patterson again. So either way, we've got to bring one or the other in.
Yeah, I think you can get away with loaning a centre half, though. But yeah, I mean, the other thing that we've been really critical of, I've been really critical of, I've probably been a bit more critical, if I'm being honest, than you, is Alcaraz, because I was not sold on him at all. Yesterday, he took the game by the scruff of the neck and he really, really tried yesterday. His distribution was better, albeit the one pass, he turns on the halfway line and bangs it straight out of play. But apart from that, I thought he was good yesterday. I thought he was mobile. I thought he was prepared to carry the ball. He could beat players. He reminded me a little bit of Arteta yesterday. That's what I want to see. That is exactly what I want to see. And I had no issue with Dwight McNeil at right wing. I had no issue with, I mean, I'd have kept Dendai on the pitch, obviously. But you're right. We need to, we've got 4 games now. We've got an average team, a good team, and 2 shit teams. This gives us good scope to see where these players that are actually under contract at Everton are, how good they are, and working with them going forward. It's really, really key, because if they put in a good performance against Newcastle, we know they're capable. If we see them put in a bang average performance against Fulham, we know they're not capable of pushing on. If they lose against Southampton or Ipswich, they've got to go. I mean, it's fundamentally that simple, really. So,
but for me, the 4 games for any player to prove himself that he deserves to stay at Everton Football Club next season is Alcaraz, and the only way you're going to see that is by playing him. Quite right with what you say. We know he can be that ball carrying midfielder we've got. I'm not going to say he's blessed with quality enough to be that ball carrying midfielder, but for 14, 15 million quid, whatever it is, if we do see a player in there, like we seen yesterday, a bit better in glimpses, if we see that player in the next 4 games, midfielder, maybe is your ball carrying midfielder, I don't know, but I just think for 14, 15 million, when you've got other areas on the pitch who are really, really, really poor, you know, it's a big summer ahead with big changes needed. For me, Moyes has to start Chimiti for the next 4 games to see what he's capable of, and Alcaraz with Ndai, drop Decore. He doesn't need 4 games now for Decore to make Moyes' mind up whether he gets another contract, because I haven't seen enough to say he should do. So Alcaraz and Chimiti are definitely in the starting lineup for the next 4 games, and Alcaraz with Ndai, and see what they can do.
I haven't really got anything else to add from yesterday, to be honest. It was just an annoying game of football.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
And there's no real news either. I mean, there's nothing trending on Twitter or anything. So
no. You know, I think what you found with David Moyes, it was like this the first time he was there. Not much gets leaked. Obviously, we've had the Chris Rigg rumours, and there was someone else as well. But I think a lot of work goes on behind the scenes when David Moyes is running the football club, and obviously he's being put in charge now of practically the incomings and the outgoings. Still people coming into the club who are going to work alongside David Moyes. Until that's sorted, the season's over. We need naming rights. We need to know what the kitty's going to be like. And I said to you the other day, rumours are to be believed, from the 1st of July, you will start seeing things getting put up on Bramley Moor and shirt sponsors and stadium sponsors. Then we should know then how much the transfer kitty is. But until then, it is going to be a guessing game, and you will get rumours flying around. But I don't think anything will be set in concrete from now to the end of the season.
Yeah. Man of the match from yesterday?
Derek Brandwaite.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, guys. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the other one would have been Jake O'Brien, and then the other one would have been Charlie Alcaraz, because I thought he was good when he come on yesterday, I must say.
Yeah.
Right, we will leave it there. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Bit of a shorter debrief today, but that's never a bad thing. It's just because there was less to talk about, to be honest. And yeah,
we are suffering with jet lag.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, John hit the nail on the head, really. We just want the season to end. I just want the season to end.
Season to end. Get their trophy parades out the way. I'm locking myself away today. I won't be going out anywhere. And start afresh with a massive summer and a massive season for Everton Football Club next year. Well, this year, but going into next year.
Yeah, next season.
That's the one.
Cool. Right, guys. See you soon. Keep smiling. Up the toffees. Any news that comes out, me and John will be doing the video for it. It is my birthday tomorrow, so if anyone wants to send me millions of pounds in the post, just let me know, guys, and I'll accept it. Happily. 33 years old. My God.
And you fucking look older than me.
I do look old, and I look burnt as well. I mean, honestly, cremated, mate. Right, guys, see you soon. Peace.